Hello, Steffi. Finally get to do another reading for you and yak at you over ramblings and nonsensical things. I emailed Cliff this morning to see if we could set up that interview this week. We'll see what happens. After I'm done this reading with you, I'm going to go back to BitChute to listen to his interview with Jay Campbell that was posted last night. I listened to it last night. It was almost mind numbing as to what we're going into over the next few months, over the next couple of years. We are at war, and it's going to. What was so what he said about we know we've won when this happens, which is about the mainstream media crumbling. He said when we see it crumble away and nobody believes them and everybody wants them you know harassed. He said, well, no, we won. But I mean, it's bittersweet because that's when the struggle truly begins, because we're literally crashing into the new system, the new world. For those who weren't prepared, it's going to be very difficult. Even for those of us who are prepared, it's going to be difficult. But on the other side of that valley is beautiful skies, new technology, a lot of good things. Anyway, I pre-shuffled these cards. Let's get on with your reading. And the first card that came up, I gotta tell you, when this card popped up and I knew the shuffle was done, Four of Pentacles. Now this is something Michael got last night in his reading on the live show, about holding back. But in your case, Steph, I don't know why it didn't dawn on me last night, but I guess that just wasn't the feeling I got when that card came up for Michael. The feeling I get from you is holding on too tight. Look, your feet planted. Nobody's going to get these coins. Nobody's going to get what's mine. And the meaning of this card isn't just about holding back. It is about holding on too tightly. It almost reminds me of my sister Laura, the one that's challenged, when she was a little girl. She had a pet hamster, and she was a lonely girl. She was always very jealous of, me going to school, and because I was younger, she didn't think that was fair. She couldn't go to school. And she was very, very possessive. So she was given this pet hamster that she killed because she held onto it too tightly. She loved it so much it killed her. It killed her hamster. She squeezed it too hard in hugging it. I'm getting that feeling from you, Steph. Hanged Man in pause. Soulmate right at the center of the reading. Knight of Wands. Eight of Cups. The Horned One. Remember I looked that up last week, didn't I? And I think the book is still open to that page. The Wild Herdsman. The Horned One. It's about the band of heroes. Finds him seated on a mound overlooking an otherworldly plain and tending a never-ending flock of sheep. A giant dressed in skins accompanied by a dog the size of a horse. His name is Kastenin. Oh, that's not easy to see. But let's see if we can bring that into focus for you. There's the dog right at his feet. The Lady of the Fountain, also contained within the collection of the Mabinogion, preserves another encounter with the formidable herdsman where he is known as the Black Man, likely an account of the accumulation of dirt in living on the wild side rather than his actual skin color. He's found seated upon a mound in a clearing of trees, and around him a great number of animals graze and doze. He is of immense size, has one eye, and holds a club. The knight Kynon greets him, but the herdsman cannot bring himself to be civil. Kynon asks after his power over the animals, and the man strikes his attending stag with a club, who then bellows, drawing all kinds of wildlife to the mound, so numerous as to be likened to the stars. The herdsman enjoys being disagreeable and rough with the knight whom he calls Little Man. Yet the hero has the courage to ask his intended question, and the herdsman cooperates, advising the knight on how to find the otherworldly tree and what wondrous, strange adventure he can expect to find there. So, in the upright position, nature. The call of the wild, animal impulse and instinct, primal knowledge, ancestral memory, tension between order and chaos. Reconciling the cultured versus natural state of being. Originality, desire, and fertility, enchantment, fascination, and magnetism. Healthy competition. The integration of animal behavior and needs with the civilized conscious. The rise of primal instincts such as nesting, nurturing, herding, protecting. The attuning of animal qualities and senses, which can be of great value in agility, cunning, and the intuition of threats or unnatural conditions. The wisdom of the subconscious making its influence felt via one's appetites and aversions. Nature has a cycle and rhythm to regulate our behaviors, keeping balance and order. If oppression, starvation, or cruelty disrupt this order, then abhorrent, chaotic, self-destructive behavior can ensue, leading to the traditional interpretation of the devil. That appears in many decks as card number 15, indicating controlling relationships, enslaving, obsession, violence, abuse, and addictions. However, unless a negative interpretation is suggested by surrounding cards, the horned one of this deck is a symbol of healthy, life-enhancing, wild nature. But in the reverse, it's an imbalance, the destructive, upsetting force in the universe, panic, appetite with no conscience, evil, violence, perversion, depravity, oppression, weakness, the use of religion, virtue, and guilt as a weapon, self-flagellation, poor choices, and blind jealousy. And it feels like it's in the reverse because of these surrounding cards, Steph. Now, having the Eight of Cups below the Hanged Man, you're being put in pause. And there is a walking away from a behavior or a person. There is a pause here until you do. Two of Cups, and now we have the Knight of Wands, which is the player. This can also be perceived as finding the way forward, the path opening for the two of you. But then again, with the player card, that's not Michael. He's not a player. It could be you thinking he is. Three of Wands. This is the Journey card. It's also about your ships coming in more than you expected. So maybe the focus needs to be on work. This could be about you wanting to expand in your stores, having more than you thought you would have when you first began. That wants me to grab this deck. This concerns me, Steph. It's right under the Soulmates card. And this hanging on too tightly. There's no indications here of a breakup, but you do have to walk away, either from a person or a behavior, because you're going to be stuck where you are with no movement forward. No movement forward. And again, this can be finally you're moving forward because you're walking away from a person or behavior. That realization of what is infecting you, infecting your soul, your consciousness. So this can result in travel, you wanting to travel to the States. But you can't right now, Steph. I know you want to, but you can't. We're at war. We're at war. And the States will be the center of that change in the world, which means chaos. I remember when you wrote to me and you said, like, WTH, is this only 1 week holiday? There are laws in place in US and Canada where you are allowed a 15-minute break twice daily during your work hours. So you barely have time to eat your lunch. Some places are generous and give you an hour once a day with a 15-minute break in the morning. But most places, you get 1 or 2 weeks of holidays per year. I know that sounds nuts, but that's the way it's always been, as long as I've been alive. So when I say I worked my tail off to raise those kids, trust me. Can you imagine holding down 2 jobs and going to college? That's what I did. So I understand. I mean, Michael has always been a hard-working person, always devoted to his work. He was with a woman who cheated on him. And that poor guy, unbeknownst to him, he just kept going to work every day, every day, every day. I know being apart from you has made him heartsick. And he's, from what I can see, he's always trying to assure his devotion to you. But Steph, are you making him prove it when he can't? This is where faith and trust comes into the picture. Look at that, bottom of the deck, walk away. Is it a possibility that Michael might walk away? If he does, he does. We all have our own path. We can't be in control of what other people do. It's impossible. And look at it this way, because of our age stuff. We grew up in an age where this is the way couples are supposed to be. Now, I am not advocating that people have open marriages and swap couples. Like, to me, that's disgusting. But we cannot control what our mate decides for their personal life. or how they live. All right, let's clarify. What's going on for Steph? What does she need to... I think I already know. I think I've already told you what's needed here, Steph. It's screaming at me. I know that might not be pleasant to you, but you know me. I always looked for the positive in a reading, where we're being led. And this, to me, looks like, oh my gosh, if you were to watch the movies of Excalibur and things like that, these missions, learning missions, how we are repeating patterns until we get it. And there is a fear of you repeating a pattern here. Holding on too tightly to the past. And at the heart of your reading, this beautiful soulmate, like, look at this picture. You and Michael are soulmates. Soulmates are not always meant to be together, like, forever. I think you two are meant to be together, but there is a danger here. Look at these cards surrounding it. Hangman. The player. And I'll never think for 1 minute, because I've known Michael a few years now, and I've seen what he went through with his divorce, and he has no hard feelings with Angela, but it just didn't work out. I never really asked him what happened between him and her. He just would prefer to be friends. It could be because Angela is an Aries too, and very dominant and overbearing. And they have big tempers. And Michael is a gentle soul. Like, chaos and drama make him ill physically. Though I don't think that's why he's ill here. It could be part of it. Stress is not going to be helpful in his situation, but he's around vaxxed people all the time. Best advice I could give him and gave him was what Cliff had said. He said, if you see someone with a needle, you know, he said, run away or come at them with a bat. Six of Swords, moving to calmer waters. If anything, I would say that's the advice, or where you're going, or the result of hanging on too tight. Hanging on too tight to something or an idea or a person can be exhausting. But you're not alone here. Both of you, I think, are moving to those calmer waters. Look at that, the new beginning. Hangman says no new beginning until you get past this mission. Did you find the Grail? Where is the Grail? And you do find it. You do step to that higher next level plane. Look at how far you've come, Steph. I mean, 2-3 months ago, who would have ever thunk that you would, like, get it? I mean, I always have to be so careful when I'm talking on my channel because people think I'm just nuts. But I knew it was coming. Next thing I know, you're prepping, just like Michael did. Just like I did. I started prepping, oh my God, a decade ago. But Michael, when he came up to visit me a couple of years ago, his truck was stashed full that if he had to bug out at any time, he could survive in the woods. He had his camping stove, he had a barbecue, had food, he had sleeping bags, a tent, everything he needed so that if there was any trouble between him coming to visit or going home, he would be okay. He knows damn well that when that green light comes, he may have to head for the hills to get out of the way of the chaos. Now we have this new beginning for you. New money, new business, new life. Look what's swirling around here. But you're in pause. It's almost like this is your last week before graduation. You've been in waiting. When am I going to be able to visit Michael? When am I going to be able to get on with my new life? What am I waiting for? Why do I have to wait? But something is coming in here for you. Someone from the past returning, a soulmate. So even if you two are apart, this does look, even if you guys are going through a bad spell, or are going to go through a bad spell, or have been through a bad spell, there is a return. This could be someone that's not Michael. I mean, as you said, there was these people coming back into the picture. Tomas, I can't believe you have anything of his on your shelves to give him any excuse. But that looks like it's coming to an end too. Or those other dweebs. Maybe this is why you're in hangman mode. You need to come to that conclusion of your decision. What is it you want? Do you want to stay loyal to Michael? Or are you going to revisit the past that pulls you, you know, pulls and tugs at you, or plays on your emotions? You have to make a judgment call. It's almost like, if they're a player, get out of the situation. Dump them. If they're not a player, let the path open up. Judgment call. You're in it for the long haul. Or you move in a different direction. Oh yeah, look at this. Holy Jesus. This conflict. Walking away from conflict. Needing to walk away from conflict. But this also feels, Steph, like people coming at you. You know, these, like Tomas or whatever his name was, Marcia or And though this is sometimes about, you know, taking on the higher ground, dealing with these things coming at you with humor, with evasiveness, or even being coy. But whatever this is, at some point you are going to have to bring that rod down and walk away from all of this. That's the judgment call. You're always going to have to be dealing with people. But perhaps, you know, all those cards that came up for you in the past about being up in your head has been about wanting to see something in a situation that wasn't there. You know, like with Tomas, wanting to see something that could grow but wasn't there. It turned out to be sand falling through your fingers or water falling through your fingers. There is a judgment call coming. Are you going to break these chains? I think so. That just came up in the reverse. 5 of Wands. It is not worth hanging on to old thoughts, thought patterns, I mean, thank God, Steph, that you do your meditations. You ring your bowls. You're an incredibly sensual woman. But whatever this is that you need to release, it is not worth hanging on to the past or what you've been through. What you've been through does not define who you are. Look at the strength here. This feels to me like you are going to decide to wait. You are going to be strong and watch it bloom and grow. And for heaven's sakes, don't second guess. What are they doing? Where is he at? Allow it to grow and bloom into something beyond what you ever hoped for. And you certainly don't have to tell me how that feels because look what I went through with Kelly. How much I hung on, how much I hurt, how much I distrusted. I came to the conclusion that I was better off alone because it wasn't worth torturing myself like that. I am actually fearful of ever getting into a relationship in case that beast rears its ugly head again. I don't want to be mistrustful. Yeah, but I am. And actually, that can be a gift, literally. It can be a gift. We're already a half hour into this. All right, what's the outcome? I just want to know. What's the outcome here with Steph and Michael? What's the outcome for Steph and Michael? Watching, wisdom, growth, learning, communication, problem solving. It's all here. You two are very powerful together. And the devil wants his flesh. It almost feels like there's help for you here in this judgment call, you know, resurrecting the dead, letting the rest fall away. Yeah, I know this is not Michael. He is not one to take more than what he gives. Is it possible he feels like he's trying to give you more than he is able? And it's taking from his soul. We have that bird, that peacock or bird of paradise in the background, spirit watching. An open path. Player. Honestly, Steph, is he trying too hard to prove himself to you? Is he trying too hard to prove himself that he's not a player? That's soul-sucking stuff. I know how much you love him and adore him, and I know how heartsick he feels for you. But this is something that can be nurtured something beautiful. But if there's this kind of conflict, that's soul-sucking energies and will destroy this relationship. Wow. What is that? I'm sorry, Steph, if that's upset you in any way, shape, or form. What is the message for Steph regarding Michael? With love, regarding love with Michael. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And keep the past out of it, sweetheart. We gotta let the past go. Heart-to-heart conversations. This may be Michael just bearing his soul and how his feelings are with you. Why he's so stressed out. Your love life is being affected by children? Or are you acting like children? Time to disconnect from the world. That's this. Walk away from these past energies. These suitors. Retreat. Hangman mode. There's something beautiful coming. And it's yours for the taking, Steph. But there's this one. It's almost like the 2 years that I've known you and worked with you. It's been a fight, and I've been, like I said, when I see your reading, it's like reading for myself. Going through this fight of letting go of who I was. Once I even said, I wish I was a little girl again. Because it was when I was innocent, before I was corrupted. Now this retreat, I don't think is, you saying to Michael, let's take a break from each other. I think that would just kill him. I think that would just kill him. But there's something from this past hanging on to you. And look, we have the Strength card. This conflict of fighting within yourself or fighting these others who are trying to get into your life, to take advantage of you, to play on your sensuality. I think you finally find that strength. You find that strength and realize it was worth the wait. Even if you and Michael never met face to face, which I think you will. I hope you will. You will look back on this saying, this was the reprieve I needed. The soul searching. The put me in pause. To be able to see these men like Tomas and the other guy, and to be able to see them in a different light and go, what did I ever see in them? Now, Tomas may still be a danger to you because I have always found him to be manipulative. Perhaps this soulmate from the past is Michael. This repetition or second chance after Robert. I hope that helped. I'm going to check my mail now to see if Cliff replied to me. And I took Lady out for her walk this morning. I am really... I'm not sure what to say about all this stuff. I hope it helped. Love you very much. I don't know what other news I have to tell you. Amira showed up for her reading and then she was gone. I love her to death. And I would never demoderate her. She's a sweet girl. We all have our burdens and things to bear. In a way, I feel blessed that my hormone ship sailed and I don't have to struggle with desire and passion and love. I feel blessed for that. Because desire, passion, and love just confuses the mind, puts crazy things in our head. I hated who I became when I was with Kelly. I hated who I became. And to look back and think, well, I'd be terrified to get in another relationship or fall in love and risk going through that again. Because I bet I surely would. And I may never deal with that aspect of me, but perhaps my prayers were answered in a way that I needed. No more desire, passion, or romantic feelings. It's weird, isn't it? I just don't have them. I look at men like Bert, my buddy up the road. He's a sweetheart. And he's dropped his little hints, but like water off the duck's back, I'm like, not interested. But hey, I'd love to have you for a friend. And I think that's why Michael and I, we hit it off really good, like a brother and a sister. Like he knew I wasn't looking for that romance, but we just got along so well. And it was like sealing the deal. He wanted to do some traveling. Here was an opportunity, and it was a blast. Loved having him. Poor guy. New Year's Eve, though, he drank too much. I don't know how many glasses of champagne he spilled. I had to keep borrowing Gail's mop to clean up after him. And that poor boy, he was so sick the next day, Steph. Oh my God, by supper time, I was like, Michael, you've got to get some soup or something into you. He's not used to drinking. It's not one of his fortes, but oh my goodness, I felt so bad for him. He was all green the next day. That's how he spent New Year's Day. Green, wrapped in a blanket, moaning and groaning and puking. I shouldn't laugh. Poor guy. It was a real joy to have him here, though. He is a lovely soul, a really lovely soul. Love him to death. And I'm happy for the two of you. This concerns me, though. Steph, it's like you're being haunted. It really looks like you're being haunted. People from the past. Everyone coming at you. But you're walking away from that. It's like your last week before graduation. It's like the grand or the final exam. Oh God, I hope you pass it. I hope with all my heart that you rise above this last plateau to the next, to the top of the mountain. You've been doing it physically. You've been manifesting it. But this takes discipline, mind discipline. But you're strong enough. You find that strength to do it. Okay. It's going to take me hours to upload this. We're at 40 some minutes. But I want to get this to you before the end of the day. We'll talk again, my friend. Hey, if this goes well with Cliff, you and I should do an interview. We can do it. Well, you be on your phone or whatever, and cruise through the store. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be lovely. You could put it on your channel. I could put it on my channel and direct them to your channel. With Cliff, I don't think I'm going to put it on YouTube, though. It's probably going to be on BitChute and Rumble. YouTube will delete my account. He's very, very well known in the elite. In fact, they've very much tried to get his formula for his webbot, and they've tried to create their own for predictive programming. They love him and they hate him. The oligarchs, they love him, but they hate him. I think Cliff was one of probably the single most effective waker-upper I ever had the pleasure of studying from. I studied all of his work for years and years and years. I stumbled across him in 2011, around then, 2010. But what he was saying was so fascinating. Back then it was articles. And on Half Past Human, his website, I read every bloody article he ever wrote, starting, back in 1998. It was amazing. And here we are. Everything he said came to pass. And he went at it from a scientific point of view, what the data was showing him. The only thing that really threw him was that sun disease. For years he was talking about the sun disease. Now we get it. Corona, right? The corona of the sun. We're at the solar minimal, and we're getting a lot of the corona coming around the sun and hitting us. The crown. Amazing stuff. Amazing times we live in. This week, girls, something big is about to happen. Something really big. It's going to be a tough winter. And this is where war is known to the rest of the world. Buckle up, baby. Tough times ahead. Expanding your store might not be a good idea at this time. Maybe sit on it for another month. It's maybe September, October. Then make your decision to do it if you think you can go forward with it. But there's going to be a lot less people by next spring. We'll be in a new system, monetary system, so it might be a good idea to expand. I don't know, girl. I just know over this next few months, we're going to be in hell. We are going to be in hell, and the rest of the world is going to be painfully aware that we've been at war. We are at war. And it's about to get really nasty. Okay, on that. Don't be scared. It's just a beard. We will get past this.